need to get myself in the zone.
Me.
That'll be at the end. Just warming up the vocal cords. What episode number are we for?
4.
Okay.
Lucky number 4.
What are we going to call this one? Should I give it a name?
Podcast 4.
That's creative.
What is the best diet out there?
The culting of
Let's
diet.
clickbait it.
Depends how
Clickbait it, yeah.
The culting of diets.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
What is the best diet?
Welcome back to episode 4 of Bodies, Barbells and Bagels, and we have a special guest, our first guest on the podcast, which is really exciting. Yeah, you got
Special
in before
needs.
Lane Norton because he kept bailing on us.
Yeah,
So we love you, Lane. We'll see you next week. But we have a special guest with us, and it is the one and only Brendan McCormack from Perth Fit Fam, from all of the different things he does. I cannot even list them off because I can't keep up with him, but he can tell us what he's up to these days. And basically we've got Brendan on, and I know he's not a coach. I know he's not a nutritionist.
He's a nobody. Who are you?
Just not a
Like,
at all.
Just leave.
But he was free.
That's the door.
Hey, it was last minute. He's the bald man that you'll see running around with a microphone at many fitness events in Perth, or wearing a hat, but he's gotten off the hat.
Straight for the ball.
I'm just straight for the
How'd you
attack
feel about
tonight.
that?
But
I'll chat. I'll go into detail about my hair.
all right. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to Brendo for being here. The reason we have him on is because even though he isn't a coach or a nutritionist, he's very educated in the fitness industry. He's been in it for a long time. We met about 8 years ago, and he has recently done a bit of a study on himself, put himself through the paces of varied diets. So we are going to talk today about what is the best diet for you and a comparison of different diets out there, mainly talking about vegan versus keto versus more flexible dieting and macros. So that is the gigantic intro. Welcome, Brendo. Welcome, Shawnee.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Ladies first.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm exceptional.
Yeah,
so with my hair,
Yeah.
I'm not.
We have to post a photo on Instagram.
Yeah, because it's a podcast, and I'm bald.
We should have YouTubed it.
Yeah. But I'm bald, and I go through these different experiments, and we went through the diets that we're going to talk about here. But my personal challenge for this year was not to wear a hat for the year, which is weird because I didn't go ahead with the challenge, and it just so happens I'm not wearing a hat because I left it at home and not in my car. But what I discovered, it's actually like a serious like personal insecurity. Yeah, like 100%. So I'm going to commit to it and get used to being my bald head
it's good.
skin.
I remember I hadn't seen your actual head for months and months and months. I remember one day I saw you and didn't realise you were so scarce on the scalp.
You know what's interesting is that
Suits you though.
I was exactly the same when I first got
You were
hair.
bald?
My hair, yes,
Oh.
I was.
Alice
but
was bald at one point.
no, this is serious. For
Do
females out there,
elaborate.
when I had really bad hair extensions put in when I was about 18, and I got literally all my hair ripped out, and my hair was super short. So no one's known this, but I have had to have hair extensions basically since then. And I got them taken out last year, and I had a good 6 months without them. And I felt the same as you. Felt very insecure, felt like a balding woman, and I had this tiny little bob. But I had to get comfortable with it again. But it's funny how you attach something that is who you are to something. So it's interesting. Like, how do you find it? Do people react differently to you?
No, I think I react the worst. It's people that always see me with the hat, and if I take it off, and they, sometimes there might be a bit of a shock. But most people see me at some stage without it, and it's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
So it's more in, I guess my head. But when you grow up with it, and that's who you are, and it changes, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Your identity.
It is, yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna have a soft launch into baldness. So
Hey, I don't think it's soft.
I'm gonna have a shiny launch into baldness.
It should be shiny.
Yeah.
Do you have dome wax or?
No, I don't. I don't go the what's it called, the full shape.
So this is going to be a hair tip podcast.
Yeah, I should probably go. Yeah, I'll get through this because no one cares about my hair. But I'm gonna get glasses. I'm getting glasses.
Well, this can
next week,
be. You know what I don't know if you're aware, but we
Take
do
focus
a
on my
for
scalp.
him and her tip every week for our listeners.
You
so
know a what?
a him and her tip
Yeah.
weekly for our listeners.
Cool.
So would you like to give a for him tip on maybe hair chrome doming this for our him listeners today?
Oh, I'm probably the worst person now. Yeah, I was going to say, well, I would like to say just step into it, but I'm not really a good ambassador of that.
Embrace it.
Yeah, just wear a hat, mate.
Wear a hat.
Yeah.
And get glasses and a nose ring.
Exactly. Anything to take focus of the scalp. But no, that'll be coming through.
What would be, have you got a tip that maybe has come into your head the last few weeks? It can be anything fitness related, anything health related, anything mindset related. You can have a think about it if you want to for a second while Shawnee does his.
Yes.
And we'll come back to you. We'll do a little round table. But anything informative. So, Shawnee, your for him tip for the week.
Mine was very elaborate last week. My tip for him. Mine was about a 20-minute tip. So. on
iron.
On iron levels in the other.
I thought you meant ironing.
No. That's next week.
For him. Get it? Yeah.
For him.
Hemoglobin?
No, all right, let's get on with it.
Mine's very simple this week is if you're not so familiar with my Instagram, because I'm quite famous, if you are familiar with my Instagram, then you can tune out. But my tip for him is for arm training today. And it's basically if you're going to train biceps, then you need to add a form of rotation into your exercise
like
repertoire.
A twirl?
So you need to twirl at the hips. No. So it's more about the triceps, my tip. So with the biceps, you do need to flex at the elbow and you need to add some form of forearm supination, pronation to hit the biceps properly, because the biceps do rotate the forearm slightly and flex the shoulder and abduct the shoulder as well. But with triceps, you see a lot of people do some funky things with reverse grip and neutral grip and pronated grip and all this sort of stuff like that. You don't need to do that.
Unless you want jacked forearms like Sean.
I have massive forearms, because I do think it.
But you have had terrible biceps, so this is why bicep tips. Yeah.
And terrible triceps, so terrible arms in general, but
good forearms.
Thanks. That peak. I have 17-inch forearms and 16-inch upper arms. Yeah, so that's a fact.
That's what happens when you're single for a very long time.
Yep. Very long time.
Good stats.
But my tip is you don't need to do that with the triceps. The triceps, they basically, all three heads of it insert onto the olecranon process of the ulna. So basically, if you look at your elbow, there's a pointy bit. I'm literally looking at my elbow now.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Look at your elbow, there's a pointy bit. They all insert onto there. You don't need to do any form of rotation. So pick your strongest grip, which for me, I think it's probably neutral grip.
Mine's neutral to supinated, so I'll tend to supinate slightly at the top.
Okay, interesting.
Because I have a fucked up wrist.
Well, there you go, yeah. And
what about you, Brendan?
Stick with that and you'll get the same results.
Favourite curl position?
So I do CrossFit.
So this has nothing to do with
you used to curl.
Yeah, I used to curl. I like straight bar curl. It's like standard overhand straight bar curl.
Yeah,
I prefer that, or like a preacher when I do it. But yeah, I don't really do curls. Yeah. If I do curls now, I usually just do like a standard alternating dumbbell curl, and the reason why is it's a bit more movement and less isolation. I'm talking like once a month I might do this because I'm not in a CrossFit gym.
Is it unfunctional Friday?
Yeah, but I feel it feels weird trying to do an isolation movement now, and it almost feels like I'm going to get an injury from doing it. So I opt not to. But yeah, that's my story with curls.
Awesome. So it's a simple tip. You need to add in the rotation with the biceps. You don't need to add in the rotation with the triceps. Literally just press, extend your arm, straighten your arm. But if you want to hit the long head, then we need to go overhead for that one, because it does insert into the shoulder. So that's why you do overhead. Skull crushers, tricep extensions, those sorts of things. So keep it simple.
Awesome. And if you want more tips on that, I'm going to plug Shawnee's Instagram page now, because let's get Shawnee to 1,000 followers, because then he's going to start using Insta stories.
I think I'm on 760 now.
Oh, yeah?
I think I lost followers.
I'm going to give you a shout out, so you should almost get
excellent.
Up there. So
you know what? Brett Earl gave him a shout out, and
I lost followers.
Thanks, Brett. So my tip for her this week, and Brendo probably can chime in on this one, because I know we do love to have our chit chats about, I guess, mindset and motivation sometimes. But my tip is to say no. Learn how to say the word no. I've spoken to so many of my female clients who are mums this week, and shout out to all you mums, because you are doing it hard, especially the single mums. But the biggest thing is a lot of my girls are getting maybe overwhelmed, frustrated, burnt out, feeling like they can't get stuff done, not time enough for the gym, for their meal prep, for the shit that actually matters to them, and then not getting results in turn. And a lot of the time it's because they don't know how to say no. They don't know how to say no to like a social event that they don't actually want to go to, some fucking shitty coffee date with someone that they really like don't give a fuck about and that adds nothing to their life. And I know that sounds horrible, but
we all do it.
We all do it. We all say yes, yes, yes. I'll do this, I'll do that.
I don't do that.
And then we end up unhappy and burnt out. And I say that from a place where I used to be that person. If I had any opportunity, if anyone wanted to catch up with me, someone that potentially wasn't adding a hell of a lot of value to my life or being a positive influence, I'd just go hang out with them because I felt bad because they asked me, which was stupid because it was not only not effective use of my time that I could have been better spent, say, especially when you work for yourself, because everyone thinks that you've got all this spare time in the world. So Brendo would know those feels. It'll be a Wednesday and they're like, do you want to go for a coffee? And you're like, well, actually, I'm doing a normal work day. Like, really? And as a business owner, I would say my biggest tip with productivity as well is sticking to a schedule. Like, you can't be just sporadically going on coffee dates and randomly going off your schedule because you get nothing done. So my big tip, guys, is saying no doesn't mean you're an asshole. Saying no means that you self-care. And I think that's a big one. You want to touch on the saying no topics? I'm sure that's something you've struggled with.
Yeah, massively. I think you're right. You touched on being a business owner and people thinking that you're very free, which I actually caught that today. But even from...
It's the polar opposite.
Yeah, that's right. Even I think if you're a business owner and valuing your time as well, so it's very easy to go to appointments which are probably unqualified when you could easily qualify the appointment out beforehand to see if it's going to go ahead before even stepping out of your door. So that's a big one for me as well at the moment. So I think it's very important. And like even at the moment, we've just had a big week in Sydney and a lot on and talking about burnout and saying no, and I'm like right on the cusp of that. Yeah. So
and you have those moments I find where like you will be busy for a few weeks where you, especially you, like you run Perfect Fam, you go to a lot of events, you got to cover a lot of shit, and you might have a period where it's 2 or 3 weeks that it's crazy, and then that's okay because that's life. Like people need to understand that you are going to have weeks like that. But for me, I've found that when I've had weeks like that, then I have to make sure that in my schedule I have one weekend where I literally, even if it's friends or family or whatever, and they want to catch up because they probably haven't seen me in 3 weeks, I have to actually say no for that weekend just to have that for me. And then the following weekend is like, okay, like, do you do stuff like that where you have some weekends where you're just like off, or at least a Sunday? Like sometimes it's hard to have 2 full days off. Yeah. But at least like we try Sundays or at least a whole Sunday afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, actually it's perfect. Like this weekend, like I said, I've got heaps on at the moment. I'm right on that cusp of burning out, but I feel it. Like I understand I'm tired and I know what's going on. But every Sunday, Shell and I, so Shell's my girlfriend, that's our day together. Unless I'm interstate or there's something like specifically super important that I need to be at. We have our same ritual. We always spend together on Sunday. So I turned down an appointment or a chance to do something kind of cool this weekend, and I'm like, sorry guys, you got it on a Sunday, so I can't do it.
I'm being a good boyfriend.
Yeah.
But
you have to.
And I guess like what value does that add to your life by saying no and spending time with your missus?
Well, heaps of value.
Exactly.
Because I mean, all the other stuff is cool, but it's not the most important stuff. So yeah, we always do that. We used to do date nights like at least once a week, and so we would schedule these sort of times out. I think just traveling again last week and her with her new job. But
and do you try like say you have a few crazy weeks like that? Will you then make more of an effort, I guess, when you come back to even have like a weekend away together or something that's a bit more time if you know it's been like 3 weeks that you've been off, Sydney, Melbourne, whatever, like travelling around?
No, not so much.
Yeah,
it would be good. It should be awesome.
She still gets one day.
Yeah, but we got one day. No, we up until recently we were both reps anyway, so we were on the road a lot, so we had a bit more flexibility and time, and even on the daily, like talking about that, I used to work a lot late at night. I'd always be on my laptop, or even now I try not to be on my phone.
We're pretty bad for that.
Yeah, so now I don't do that at home. And it's been about 2 years, ever since we moved in together. I made a conscious effort that once I come home, if we spend a certain amount of time together, that's the important stuff. And I don't get bogged down in
Absolutely.
stuff.
And I think like, even though, we do have some nights, but we kind of know what nights they're going to be. So we kind of know our Sunday nights and Monday nights are actually check-in nights for clients. Yeah. So we're cool with each other working till quite late, but then generally like the other nights, we will both try to be off our stuff by like 8 o'clock, and go and watch some TV together. And I guess the reason that I was bringing this up more, I guess we're relating it to more, our issues aren't around motivation or getting to the gym. Like we're all people that love training and we prioritize our training. But for a lot of the women that I work with, their big problem is they say yes to all the social stuff, yes to all the work stuff, and then they don't actually leave time to get to the gym.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say, and like what Brendo touched on, he said it's important to focus on what are the things that actually fulfill you in life and what are the things that make you happy. And if you're unhappy with your body and the physical and you're not making that time for it, then it's not enough of a priority, either number one or number two, you got to take something out. Sometimes you got to trim some fat somewhere if you want to make that time. If you really want results, it's as simple as that. Like, I can give a client a plan, I can coach him, Sean can do the same. We can't physically get you to get your ass to the gym. You know, you have to make that time.
That, you know.
Exactly.
I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Drag all of my clients to the gym. Just sit there and watch
Pick them all up in a minivan. Get in. It's training time, and then we're off to the shops. Absolutely. And like a big one, like I've said to get like women that say also time's an excuse with meal prep is either shop online, do Woolworths online, get food service companies. Like look at other ways to solve your problems rather than just saying I don't have time or I can't say no. Like that's bullshit. Basically, I think that's just it's either not a priority or you've got to trim some fat. So
what's that brilliant book about?
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck as well. Because I think that people can't say no because they give too many fucks. Yeah. They're like, oh my God, what will that person think about me if I say no? Yep. And it's like, you know what? They probably won't give a shit. They'll probably respect you if you have an honest reason as to why you can't spend time with them. If you honestly said to someone, look, dude, I'm burnt out and I can't catch up with you this weekend because I just need to recharge my batteries and chill out. They'd be like, sit
in a room and look at a wall.
Yeah, they'd be like, more respect to you, you know? Like, so don't ever be worried you're going to offend someone if you're honest with them, or just say, I got some work to do. You know, like it's fine. So yeah, that's my For Her tip this week.
Nice. You
Say no.
You had the elaborate one.
I know. Say no.
Taking up all of our
time.
Jesus.
Exactly.
You love to talk.
I do. All right, let's get into it.
Let's get on.
So, Brendo, what I want you to do is obviously explain. Let's get right into the diet. We'll touch on Perth Fit Fam at the end.
Yeah.
So, what is the study that you did last year? Why did you do it?
Cool. So, first of all, the study was, I guess, an experiment into what I call like cult diets. And it's the ones that we see pumped a lot through social media, I guess the next trend, the bandwagon. If anyone knows me well, they know that I love to jump, and this is a joke, but I love to jump on a good fad. Or something which is a bit taboo, whether that's budgies, selfie sticks, vegan, whatever it is. There's always something there.
Balding.
Yeah, balding. Yeah.
He'll come in one day.
Mate, The Rock.
Jason Statham.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so these cold diets that I want to look into, I was very, very interested into what they actually do to the body.
Yeah.
And the reason is I've been in the industry for 14 years now, predominantly in the supplement space, but I've seen a lot, I do a lot, I connect with a lot of people. And this stuff genuinely interests me. I'm a big fan of, Tim Ferriss, and he also is a very... he's somebody who experiments in a lot of things, and I think it was a bit Timor-esque or Ferris-esque.
Ferris-ish?
Yeah, but it was more for my own... It wasn't for anyone else, it was for me, and everyone just came along the journey.
Yeah.
So it was 12 months, it was 4 diets, it was 3 months on each diet.
Yeah.
The diets were... So I started off with a baseline diet, and what that was simply just an out-of-the-magazine diet by a supplement company.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you did that one.
No, that was the first one. So I did that as a baseline, and the reason why was after, I started in January, so after that New Year's Christmas break, I didn't want to start on, let's say, a keto diet, get my DEXAs and fat testing done, and then all of a sudden have drastic results on that one because I went from being inactive to active, and then the next diet's not work so much. So I started off with an unbiased, I don't really care about this one, but it's going to put me in some form of shape. Funny enough, that was probably the least best, but I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that and the reasons why. The second one was keto, so the ketogenic diet or the extremely high-fat diet. So
and proper keto, we're talking, guys. Like you were proper. Like a lot of people mistake what keto is. Like
and I'll explain that now because this is big. Because even I said before this, and with this experiment, I learned more myself and more about myself, and even like I'll touch on addictions and stuff like. As I go forward with it and the things that I learned. But a keto diet is around 75% of your calories from fat, 20% from protein, and 5% from carbs. Now, some people, like Alice said, the keto diet, so they get it mixed up and they might do a
high protein.
High protein diet, low carb diet. That's
400
keto.
grams of protein.
Which you're not keto because your
That's the
body's
bro
not
keto.
producing.
It's not a low carb diet.
You're not producing ketones. Which you test through your blood. There's P6. There's other ways to do it. I did blood testing, but it's not actually a keto diet. The next one was vegan, which is pretty straightforward. It's just no animal products whatsoever. And then I did a macros or a flexible style diet at the end and went through each one.
Yeah, awesome. Shawnee, do you want to, ask questions as we go through? And I guess what we're going to do is, obviously, Brendo has learnt so much about this, and I'm sure his knowledge is pretty extensive, but we'd also want, if Brendo wants to ask us as the experts, any questions as well about some of the results he had going through, that'll be really cool as well, and we can just kind of discuss that. For anyone out there that's thinking about doing any of these diets and wants to know more about it, this is what this episode is about. And we're going to talk about the physical results, the mental results, and obviously also, the performance, body composition,
in
all
the
of
bedroom.
that. So I guess
We had a smile.
Yeah, I've got great
we are going to talk about libido for sure. The first one we're going to talk about is, the things that we want to check. And anytime you're doing a study, there's going to be bias, there's going to be outliers. So let's nail them all out at the start.
Yeah.
So obviously, I was even saying to Brendo as you were doing it, I was like, oh, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And I was very like, are you doing phases in between the diets where you're balancing out your calories? Because I want you guys to think about this listening. If you're doing 4 diets, how long were they again? 12 weeks each?
12 weeks each with a 2-week gap in between each one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So now the issue, obviously one of the biases there, and we want these to be up front, that we saw, with that is obviously the fact that if you're reducing your body composition, say on a diet, so say you started off at 25% and then after the first diet you're down to 20%. You're in a different composition, and over that 2-week washout period, you're not going to put on 5%. You may do, but
give it a
again,
good
you know what I mean? So the only bias here that you guys need to understand listening, is it's very hard for Brendo to be at the exact same body composition standpoint going into each diet and the exact same metabolic position.
Yeah.
So that's probably the one big thing that I saw as the main outlier. And any dietary studies, you need to be aware that these are the sort of biases you need to look at when you're looking at evidence, you're looking at journal articles. Look at, are they really flatlining everyone to the same point? But Brendo obviously did a great thing by having that washout period of 2 weeks. Obviously, it would be optimal to do it for 6 months and then do another one. But realistically, it's hard to do. So
and it's one person.
Absolutely,
If you had 20 people, it'd be a lot different. But
and that's the main thing as well. Is it was for myself more than anything, and so there were those things as far as to make this an actual proper, credible, we're going to get published, you would probably need hundreds.
It's ridiculous.
You'd need hundreds of people to do
Even people like Schoenfeld and Menno, they say there's so many limitations when it comes to the
You're
actual
going to have
studies,
limitations.
that it's not 100%.
100%, because we actually, in my masters, we had to do a study. Sean did one as well, and ours was on athletes, endurance athletes, and we were testing a product. And basically a carbohydrate based in for endurance athletes comparative to just a protein base. So we had 20 subjects and basically a few dropped out over the course of the study, and we basically had to finish our whole study that we'd worked for a year on with inconclusive data based on the numbers. So you do all this work. So what we're trying to say, guys, is we want to listen to more, the effects personally, but at the same time take it with a grain of salt because every individual person is completely different. How you train as well on these diets is going to be different. Brendo's a CrossFitter, so obviously his training intensity is a lot higher than I see a lot of women who don't really train that say do keto. That may work better for them than someone who's super active. Will it work so well? Well, we're going to see. So first diet.
I say we just go through each of the diets. So I'm curious to know what your first magazine diet was.
Well, I can't say brand specifically, but it was pretty much.
You can, we don't care.
You do care.
You're like, it's one you write for.
So it was the reason why I did it. I was with the company and they had a program, and I thought, hey, what a great way to start off then by using this out of the magazine product. So it was pretty much like your 6 meals a day, your oats for breakfast. Yeah, just the traditional bro stuff that you'd find in a Men's Health magazine, but with their products
and not Men's Health.
Not Men's, just a magazine. So it was just a traditional diet. So I did this for 12 weeks. Now,
did the diet change throughout that? Was it like a cyclic diet, or was it literally like you were eating the same sort of thing the whole time?
It changed it might have been 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it might have been a 2 to 3 week cycle. So it wasn't a macro diet, so calories didn't come into play. It just changed the foods. Like it was a good balance. So it was good balance of carbs, proteins, fat in a bro sense.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, your cottage cheese with your nuts, or your cottage cheese with your apple, and
Can you give us like a day? Do you remember any of the food? If you had like a day, so that we can kind of analyze it, I guess, and give our feedback on it.
Yeah, I could my fitness pal.
Because I mean, looking at this is probably what most people start off with. They start off with
it's a nice bad start.
First diet I ever did was out of a magazine, out of a Women's Health, and I was like, great. I think it was even Women's Day back then. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I probably ate what Jay Cutler eats
Yeah.
as my first
I
ever diet.
I remember used to see it would be like
9 meals.
This would be like the Jennifer Aniston diet,
Yeah.
and that would be like the
Oh,
first
fuck
diet.
yeah. I'm going to look like Jennifer this week.
So that was my female
I didn't look like
goal body when I was a child.
With the reason why I did this diet to start off with, because when I was younger, when I was about 19 or even 18, I did this out of the book diet, which is sort of similar. And I didn't understand the idea of cheat meals or anything like that. I literally just copied this diet from start to finish and then did that. What was in it?
I was just looking at the company.
What's this?
Just knowing what company.
Oh, yeah. That gives it away.
Yeah.
So it was just just like this. It's out of the magazine diet, like your shakes and snacks. Yeah, you guys can reel it off.
So we'll reel it off. So brekkie is pretty much like, it has got some probiotics in there, some greens, so obviously some supplements from the company. I won't say names.
Test booster.
Scoop of protein powder, rolled oats, some fish oil, some test boosters, so a lot of sups. A lot.
So breakfast looks like pro oats.
Yeah.
Proats. Basically,
Yeah.
breakfast was proats with a lot of supplements.
Yeah.
Some honey. And then lunch was pretty much sweet potato, more supplements, broccoli, chicken, so very
broccoli,
standard.
sweet
Yeah.
potato.
So no fats in meal 2, and then leafy greens, like olive oil, steak, so pretty much your
Steak and salad.
fats and protein, and then egg whites, blueberries, almonds, cottage cheese, delicious.
What is that?
Yogurt and a mint mug. I have no. Is that tea? Oh yeah, no calories. Yeah. It's a bit of dark chocolate. That's not too bad.
And some more supplements.
Yeah,
Son,
so
ching, ching.
you know, and it's So if you think about that diet from you just reading it now, Sean, what would you say before I guess Brendo even talks about the response? What would you predict would happen from following a diet like that for the average person? What nutrients would they be maybe missing out on and lacking from that?
That actually wasn't too bad. I would say there's a lack of healthy fats in there, but there's quite a few fish oils and stuff. But I mean, fish oils is only one form. You know, it's good to get more of a variety. There was chicken, there was steak. There was
olive oil.
there was some olive oil in this. It actually wasn't that bad, but I mean, calorically, it didn't look very high. So
So it's about 2,500
Okay,
calories. I'm on about 2,500 at the moment.
That's cute.
Now I should be higher. And we can go through when I went through.
I think Alice is on the same. She's dieting.
We'll talk about performance and how that goes. It's about 2,500. Again, you look at it. It's not bad.
No,
it was okay. Why it was probably the least best out of them was because it wasn't customized to me. It wasn't foods I particularly enjoyed. It's very generic. Now, the reason why I believe it was probably the worst was it was obviously there to help promote products, and I used the products. Now, one of those products being a high stimulant fat burner, you can only do that for so long until you start to fatigue out, and I feel like that's where I got.
How many times is a fat burner in there a day?
Twice a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of caffeine. Probably.
Well, it was in all fairness, it was only 150 per scoop, so 300 a day, which is
two
okay.
coffees.
But for some reason, that stuff for me, anything which is like the fake stuff, and I'm high wired as it is. Any of that fake caffeine, it catches me quick.
Yeah.
And I fatigue.
I agree, actually.
So, I mean, I think if that diet didn't have so many of the supplements and they almost replaced some of the like fish oils and extra things with actual food, like a bit of salmon here and there, or there was variety. And like you said, the diet changed every couple of weeks. So that's a good thing as well, because you are going to be getting a mix of micronutrients. But did they change up like the vegetables, or was it just always like broccoli?
No, the vegetables did change as well. I would have to go through and work out. It's probably like off the cuff now. It would probably be hard to do, but it definitely did change. But the macros completely changed as well.
Well,
so it didn't follow. It was like a bit random. It wasn't a structure to it.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to delve into the macro stuff now, but I think not having the ability to, and some people just want, this is what I need to have, this is the exact amount. And some people function well like that. I did, or I thought I did, up until later in the year.
I think you only function like that for so long. You can only follow a meal plan, and this is what I say about meal plans. Everyone knows I fucking hate them, but you can only follow meal plans for so long. And I will like write them occasionally, which is. But I don't enjoy. It's not that I don't enjoy doing it; it's that I know there's no longevity, and we'll do it for clients.
No education either.
No, we'll do it for clients who are beginners, and they literally have no idea what to eat, and we'll give them an idea. But then we're weaning them onto flexible dieting because otherwise they can't sustain that. Like, what do you do if you've got to go to a business event and you're like, oh, I've got to get out my meal out of my bag, and
it's just the old bro stuff, hey? Yeah, it's just the old bro stuff. Now, saying that, like, no matter what, like
what we're trying to say, I guess, is the foods themselves. It's not that bad. No. Like, if you had those types of foods in your diet, that bit of variety, there's a bit of dairy, there's a bit of saturated fats, there's different sources of protein. Like, you're not actually missing out on that much. I didn't see a lot of, there was blueberries, but it wasn't a lot of fruit in there.
Not a lot of fruit.
I would say, like, they were the main things, but really it's not terrible. There wasn't a lot of whole grains. There's a little bit of oats, maybe a bit of rice would be nice to see in there. It was mainly sweet potato, I think.
That did change later. I was a more sweet potato person as well, so I would probably swing more towards that way.
And I guess we're just looking at it from a
completely
balanced diet. Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't terrible, but I would say it'd be interesting to see if you were to break down at least the calories of one week, and then when they changed it the next week, whether it literally was just a case of eating nice food, not equating calories.
Yeah, which is what it was.
Yeah.
And so you didn't have like any progressions or any structure of how it went. It did change, except then like, you know, your fats, protein, carbs followed no particular direction.
Yeah, and this is honestly where I think so many people go wrong in their quest, because it's probably where most people start, like you said.
Yeah.
But so many women, and I was in this little like helping women in Perth in fitness. It's just a female only group. And I have a love-hate relationship with those groups because I want to help, but I come in there and, you know, I am one of the more educated ones in there. It's all these beautiful women who are just trying and they're starting their journey.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're all posting, I'm eating so clean, I'm eating so this, and I'm still not losing weight. And I constantly comment, do you know your damn calories? And like they're all replying like, no, like I don't know my macros, I don't know this, and this is exactly the problem.
You can still get fat on chicken and broccoli and sweet potato.
Massively. Eating cashews, man.
You didn't weigh your almonds, it said 20 grams, you had a handful, there's another 300 calories.
I remember doing that, like just having like bags of macadamias are the worst. They're easy to go over. Saying that, results. Did I get results? Yeah, I definitely did. So I went from about 82 till about 78. So
cool.
So
let's see some pics.
Yeah, we'll post some photos as well up.
So there's obvious changes, but there's going to be, like, if you're sticking to something like that and you're sticking to something in your training, you're going to get
especially post Christmas and
Going from 82 for me is huge. So I'm about 78 at the moment, which is kind of a normal sort of body weight for me. So to sit at 82, which is why I started off on this diet, was I knew I was going to radically come down.
How tall are you?
How tall?
Short.
About 172.
Yeah, you're a touch shorter than me, aren't you?
Yeah, so about 5'8"-ish.
Yeah, I'm 5'7".
5'7",
cool.
So this was good. The only thing was, I guess it was very straightforward, very quite simple. I think the only thing for me was probably laying off the stims a bit. Performance wise, I did the CrossFit Open like around that time, like things kind of went well, and I'll talk about my performance swings, which probably work on about 7 weeks.
I think we'd like to know a lot about how that went.
Yeah, I think, and this is the anti-climax almost on all the diets, but I'll delve into each one.
Don't tell them that now.
I personally found out something about myself, which is it takes me about 7 weeks to hit a peak. So from when I have like a layoff training, like whether that's a couple of weeks or I go away or something, it takes me 5 to 7 weeks until I'm like proper fit. Like I feel like I'm proper fit. I can maintain that for about a few weeks, and then mentally or physically, I just can't sustain it. I can't sustain it anymore. Yeah.
It's pretty normal. Yeah. And when you're training at a high intensity, you actually need more frequent deloads, and more frequent breaks. Yeah.
Yeah, and we probably don't do that so much in CrossFit because it's high intensity all the time. And so I just found I would feel good. I'd get to a point where I'd be like, I'm fit now. I'm hitting good figures. And then I just mentally, more than anything, I would need to relax.
Yeah.
But no massive changes, except mentally I felt good because I had a goal.
Yeah.
is probably the biggest thing to point
Goal
out.
and structure, I would say.
Yeah.
So.
Goal and
What
structure.
about
and
things
that's
like hunger, sleep, that sort of stuff?
Nothing was that affected on this except just tiredness through the day from the stims. Hunger, I think just adapted to the diet. Like
Cool.
it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing crazy about this.
Libido?
Libido on this I think was fine. Like on test
cool.
boost, there's nothing
We'll ask
crazy.
Shelley.
Yeah.
So-
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess
should let
like
the libido counter. Yeah.
like Sean, what would your summary of this type of a diet for anyone looking at it?
I mean, upon first glance, if you were to see that in a magazine, you'd think, okay, it's nice food,
Yeah.
but it's just very generic. So there's
there's
nothing
no
wrong with
structure.
it, but it's short term. So
Yeah.
you may lose X amount of weight for 6 to 8 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever.
Plateau.
Then you'll plateau, and then it's like, what do I do from now?
It's a
So
stepping stone.
It's
a stepping stone.
It's a good start, like you
Yeah,
said. You started
agreed.
it. So
Yeah, and it teaches you, I think diets like this teach people good habits. It teaches you sometimes to eat more regular meals, not saying that's the best thing to do, but a lot of the time people are under eating. So I think that it encourages you to get more food in.
Who under-eats?
Especially females. But yeah, I think that, it promotes carbohydrates, promotes good things that people are scared of. I think the supplements are a little bit extreme. But I think other than that,
balance.
it's not a bad start point, but then you really need to understand your body individually, your intakes. So that's where these ones are going to downfall. But I think, again, good setting up habits, getting you to eat nutrient-dense food, variety, that's it. So, yeah.
we'll move on.
Moving on, number two.
Because that's, I said, the most generic one. We want
Yeah.
some juicy,
Yeah.
cult
So,
ones.
It's keto time.
So keto,
Is
the
it?
next
Yeah.
one. Now, I was so friggin' excited about this one. Now, to paint a picture, leading in to, I guess, doing this, this is the one that I was really hell bent on doing. It's the one that was getting a lot of plug-in through social media, a lot of talk about these exogenous ketones, the talk about cognitive function.
Because you started it when Prove It came out, pretty much over here, I think.
Yeah, well, when it kind of reached a
exogenous
tipping
ketone
point. So, it's the same thing. I'm like hell big on Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan and these sort of guys, and they were plugging it, and all of a
Loved it,
sudden,
didn't you, Joe?
yeah, there's all these things about these ketones and what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna be honest, man. Back when I was with this sub company, I was hitting them up, you've got to get into this keto thing. It's the next big thing. So for me, this one was this is the diet which I really wanted to give a crack. Now, a day in the life of keto. So to get into ketosis, it takes me about 3 to 4 days. I came out of ketosis probably no less than, probably between 4 to 5 times, no more.
In the
You
whole
were
12,
testing
The
daily.
I was testing daily with bloods, twice a day sometimes, because I thought it was hilarious.
just the finger pricker.
Fingerprint.
Yeah.
I tested against Diet Coke to see if that would affect
Oh, wow.
ketones. Nothing.
Really?
There's
Yeah.
nothing. So
Awesome.
anyone that says Coke Zero
And
is
that's
going to stop
proven
your
as
fat
well.
loss.
Yeah.
So none of it affected it. You could even drink a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of. It depends on what alcohol. But
Certain wines, and
Yes,
like
certain
apparently
wines.
Merlot is fine. I remember Dominic D'Agostino saying
he's the
Yeah.
there's certain wines that you can have that will keep you in ketosis. Some are
Yes.
drier and less carbs. And I think a
everyone-
Merlot is one of them.
Yeah.
And men in particular will be able to tolerate a little more. They find that women their carb amount on keto needs to be lower than most guys to
Yeah.
actually be in
They
ketosis.
tend to be a lot more.
Like they say,
resistant.
women it's 20 grams, and guys can be in
20,
ketosis
30.
sometimes under 100.
It's 100,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
What were
Mine
you on?
might have been 80. I'll double check. I'll go through. I've
Really?
got
Wow.
I've got them here anyway.
Most people
Including
is-
fiber.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay,
Including
yeah,
fiber,
yeah,
because
yeah.
Shell was drumming me for that. So.
Yeah.
Now, I intermittent fasted
Gets
throughout
you,
the whole
yeah.
keto diet. So I generally wouldn't eat until 12 o'clock to between 12 o'clock, I think 7 o'clock or 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock, depends on how long and what my workload was. Sometimes I just couldn't wait till 2 when I was hungry.
Yep.
But before that, when I say fast, and this is where the whole keto fasting thing gets a bit funny, is I could have bulletproof coffees in the morning. So,
Really?
yeah.
So you can have a 600 calorie butter and coconut oil.
I remember when you
coffee.
said that, and I was like,
It's not fasting.
it's not fucking fasting. We had that on our podcast.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it's like a meal. So that's 30 grams of grass-fed butter, coffee, 30 grams of coconut oil,
Okay, Sean,
So that's
60
explain,
grams of oil in a hit.
Yeah, so
explain to people the benefit, like the point.
That's 540
the point,
calories from fat.
For anyone listening, a lot of people ask me about intermittent fasting. So explain to them, I guess, what the basis of intermittent fasting is.
Okay.
What actually classes intermittent fasting, and then why this diet is not intermittent fasting.
Fasting does actually go well with ketosis because it does get you into nutritional ketosis faster because you will deplete glycogen stores. But I mean, you don't eat for 16 hours roughly, give or take, and you have an 8-hour feeding window. So you'll release certain hormones as well that will then make you more fat adapted faster, like potentially, yeah.
There was inverted binaries.
I don't know why I did that. It's a podcast. But and that's why it takes like 3 days as well to get you into nutritional ketosis, because you need to release more of the hormone sensitive lipase, which will get you utilizing fats better. Fasting makes you get there faster, but I don't know, like some people like intermittent. You don't really like intermittent fasting, do you? You're not a big fan, because I like intermittent fasting, but I don't think it's not going to make you lose weight faster.
I think we should do a whole podcast on
That's a different
fasting.
One,
I'm not going to get into it. I'm pro and con, and I'm like that with any diet. That's the thing, like a lot of people think that me and Sean are your macros, your flexible dieting. Like I have clients who are vegan, who are keto on flexible dieting, and you were doing flexible on keto. Like you weren't following a meal plan. No. You were hitting macros as a keto-based diet, correct?
On all of them but the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I want you guys to note that as well. Like, we're not here to bash any type of diets. We're just here to look at the data, look at the results. So obviously, getting into that though, getting back to the point,
fasting in what view?
Why is that not fasting then? What was he doing?
I mean, it's the same with when people say you can have branch chains as well when you're fasting. It should be nothing. Like you're supposed to just have water,
black coffee.
They say you're allowed a touch of milk, but for me, just do nothing. You can go a little bit of time without food. As soon as you put calories in there, you're not fasting. It doesn't matter if these are magic fats. Just because you say you're keto, it's no different. Calories are calories. And what was that? You said 60 grams. So
60 grams.
I mean, coconut oil and butter are about 50% fat. So if you say that's 30 grams of, so that's about 540 calories from fat.
That's a solid.
How the fuck are you fasting?
It's a solid meal.
How do you run? Explain the bullshit around bulletproof coffees?
Cool. So
it's delicious.
Yeah, you know what?
If you want to drink your calories,
Yeah, I do actually love the taste of them. So, bulletproof coffee, I believe, and you can help out with this, is that the grass-fed butter is also supposed to be good for your gut health as well.
It's supposed to have CLAs in, which is a very unproven fat burner.
It's been
doesn't work.
So throw your CLA tablets out. I used to take them back in the day.
You need so much CLA that it's just won't
so
work.
much CLA, and I swore by it.
I'm sorry, sub companies.
And so the combination of the fats, I believe from a keto point of view, it almost tricks your body into a starvation mode, which allows you to consume calories while still being in ketosis.
Because it's coconut oil is medium chain triglycerides.
Correct.
MCTs.
When I say coconut oil, I was actually using medium chain triglycerides.
Okay,
not the bulletproof because it's hell expensive, but just an MCT.
High octane.
And it's meant to be good for your mental function, so you don't need to eat. Yes.
Well, how did
we
you
can touch on?
Did you have it and then suddenly have an epiphany and make millions of dollars like the dude from Limitless?
Or you're not hungry because you've just eaten like 600 calories in a drink.
That's what I found. When I have a bulletproof coffee, I'm actually pretty full.
Yeah,
so 600 calories.
Well, this is the thing. You don't need to eat because you are full. You've eaten this many fats.
Your body no nutrients.
100%. Did I feel smarter? No. So the biggest disappointment for me on the keto diet
didn't get smarter.
Didn't get smarter and didn't grow any hair.
I was convinced I was going to have reduced inflammation, that I was going to be heaps smarter, that I was going to feel like this demigod. And first of all, I want to know how you quantify cognitive function, improve cognitive function, or is it just
quantitatively or qualitatively? That's the thing. Do you do it in terms of numbers and figures to?
Well, how do you measure? Except for just I felt good. And my biggest thing on this is, and this is with any of the diets, or I feel good. Man, sometimes I feel good in life because shit's going well.
Exactly.
And sometimes I'm not getting good sleep, or sometimes I'm how I am now.
And this is why any dietary study is going to be influenced by lifestyle factors.
Massively.
Because sleep is going to have a massive influence on fat loss.
Yeah.
So if you are stressed, you're chronically elevated cortisol, and you're trying to diet, like I've run into those problems before and I haven't dealt with it. And I've had clients before, I've actually told them to not train for a week, have the week off, only do low intensity cardio, meaning going for a walk, no HIIT, no this, no that, and they drop 2 kilos.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't go with the science of saying do more, pound your body more, but it just happens. So it's like, you guys have got to remember that as well. Like, and that is why the cognitive stuff is a little harder. I guess the only other things you could look at is maybe like your work productivity. But again, that can be influenced by all those lifestyle factors.
Yeah, and that was a big lesson, is that lifestyle factors had more to do with all of that stuff than what any of the diets actually did. Now, so going back to keto, and I'll talk about where am I going to start? First of all, I'll talk about body composition.
Test and body composition.
I'll start off with body composition. Yep. So I lost 2 kilos straight off the bat.
12 weeks?
Yeah, so straight off the bat, 2 kilos, and I looked tight, straight off the bat. And
did you by chance lose fluidy looking weight?
This is the thing. And so I'm on social media going, oh shit, this diet is awesome. And it was Alice, of course. That's it. Fluid.
Drop down carbohydrates.
I get these comments trolling his live feed. And I was like, all right, tell me in another 4 weeks.
But it's funny because then I plateaued on this diet. Saying that, like as far as body weight goes, I did get to my lightest on keto. So I got down to, I think, 75.1.
But that's body weight, not body fat, which is what they need to remember.
Correct. Yeah, it is. My body fat didn't change that much going down. So I got 3 body compositions through this. So the middle one, I gained a little bit of muscle, lost body fat.
So that was after which point exactly?
That was the 6-week mark on keto.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh yes, guys, I'm getting DEXA scans I'm getting DEXA scans every 6 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So I got consistent DEXA scans.
Yeah.
So
we're talking proper hospital DEXA scans as well.
Yeah.
We're not talking in-bodies or
no.
skin calipers or
It was the good stuff.
And the same machine every time.
Same machine every single time. So the reason why I wanted to get the 6-week one, because my protein wasn't that high, and I still gained muscle tissue with about 120 grams of protein a day
on keto. Yeah,
on keto, which is pretty cool. Lost body fat, but I was training hard too, which goes back to my 7-week cycle. I can build up to it. I get to a point, and then I'm just like, I need to taper down now.
Yeah.
Every single one of the diets, I did the same thing. So gained a little bit of muscle, and then because my training had tapered down by the time I got my next test done at the end, I'd lost a little bit of that muscle tissue because I wasn't training that capacity anymore.
You've got to keep up the intensity.
Yeah.
If you build muscle from a certain stimulus, you have to keep up that stimulus.
Yep. Same deal with my VO2 max. My VO2 max worked exactly in those cycles. Yep. So I had a fantastic VO2 max whilst I was keto.
You would,
at the start.
Yeah,
but CrossFit.
Yeah, but it was but they changed because then when I came back in after I'd tapered down my training,
it's not the diet.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I want people to know, is that these diets and the secrets and it's going to do this and it's going to do that. Bullshit. No, man, that's your ability to put in the hard work whilst you're in the gym. You need to fuel your body without a doubt, and any of these diets will essentially help for that. Yeah. But that it basically came down to training, mental capacity, and lifestyle with this one as well. Now, blood tests. This is the shock, and this is what I was particularly unimpressed about keto. Yeah. No drastic changes on any of the markers.
Pros and cons, though. That's the thing.
Pros and cons.
You'd think like people are against keto, which we're not.
No.
We're just open-minded. More people would probably think that you're going to get some cons, such as reduced thyroid.
Yeah. Which was an issue.
Yeah.
Halfway through we did one, and there was a potential sign of reduced thyroid function.
Yeah, you said that to me.
Except then I got a follow-up blood test, and it was fine.
Okay.
I mean, I actually disagree with reduced thyroid from keto. It's more of you tend to actually... Were you equating calories?
Yeah, because this is really important.
Because if your calories were the same, which you can't really say because the previous phase of nutrition you didn't really know the calories that well, did you?
It was about 2,500 calories.
Did you stick to 2,500? You stuck to exactly 2,500?
Yeah, except this is the trick with keto, or this is the issue, and probably my issue more than anything. Once I reached a certain point of fat loss, it was I wasn't seeing drastic changes anymore, but I didn't change my calories through the whole 12 weeks. It was 2,500 throughout the whole 12 weeks.
Okay, cool.
Because the majority of the time what people do, and when they see drop in thyroid from blood tests, because we see it quite a lot, because we obviously analyse blood tests, is your thyroid's just down-regulating because you've dropped your calories by cutting out
calories.
a food group.
Yeah.
So there is, some people say that thyroid is driven by carbohydrates. It's kind of not really proven. It's driven by calories a lot. So if you drop out a food group, carbohydrates, you tend to drop out a lot of calories.
And then it's saying that carbohydrates are very thermodynamic.
But they are, exactly. So
they
there's
have
pros.
a lot of benefit. I've had some clients that have been on not keto but low carb, high fat, and then I've thrown carbs in and pulled their fats down, and they've dropped weight way quicker than before because their bodies just start functioning more efficiently.
Thermic effect of food is higher from carbohydrates and fats, so your body gets lazy, gets sluggish, or down-regulate a lot of things.
Exactly.
One thing I would be interested, blood test-wise, is C-reactive protein. So they say that keto is a very anti-inflammatory diet. So if you look at C-reactive protein, which is a systemic inflammation marker,
it was still high.
It was no change?
No change whatsoever. And that was the shock for me.
You are a CrossFitter as well, so it's going to stay quite high.
And I think the inflammation will be caused more from training, if anything, which is, is pretty straightforward.
Smashing your body.
Recovery methods,
and I would say that would probably be the issue, but no, keto had no beneficial change on it. Now saying that,
so wondrous MCTs and butter didn't
help with the inflammation.
Okay, right.
No.
What about your gut health? Were you pooping better? Were you less gassy?
Gaseous.
With this, I think this has got to go from memory.
Because when I did keto, I was worse. I was constipated. Because I didn't have enough whole grains and fibre.
Yeah, I think keto was fine for me.
Your poops would be potentially more sort of oily and tar-ish.
So, for example, and this is where we need to look at diets and do they suit the person? Because for me, for example, I can never do vegan because I have irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah,
that makes it very difficult. Okay, so and then the other thing is with keto is that I'm going to struggle with that too because I need a good blend of soluble and insoluble fibre to make me poop.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so with with keto, you're getting a lot of insoluble, so that's going to actually clog up a stool for someone with IBS, and that won't push through, so I'll just get super constipated.
Yeah.
So, and then the problem with vegan is I'd be the opposite. I'd have way too much fibre, and I'd be over-fibred, and then you're trying to keep yourself full, and then that creates problems too.
Yeah.
And then I can't eat things like chickpeas and legumes and all of that because, again, problems. So this is what we want you guys to understand. One of these diets might be right for you, but you need to look at it from that individual standpoint and what works best. But I would honestly say for 80-90% of the population, the last one probably, but we'll get there.
What else?
Any more questions on this?
Bloods, what was your testosterone?
Libido.
Libido.
Because they say that saturated fats and stuff obviously have been related to a positive effect on testosterone levels.
Libido was fine, so I didn't have a down slump through this period.
Was getting regular
bonus?
bonus?
just like normal. So like regular, but not super
well done,
craze.
Shell.
Bonage.
Yeah, not like super craze. Like
not so much fat.
Not increased sex drive. Yeah,
it's not like I had. It's not like I had like exogenous testosterone or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't to that standard. Foods wise, as far as eatability, it was actually pretty good. I didn't mind the foods. It was quite easy. Bacon does get boring. I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah.
What was the biggest food you missed out on? What was the first thing you had when you finished?
Every diet. This is one thing I've got to say, like about myself. I commit to it 100%, and I just live and breathe it as I do it. So I didn't really miss anything through it. I just grew to love everyone as I did them, and whichever one I did at the time, it was the shit. Like it was it.
So we went through a day in your first diet. What's a keto day?
Cool, a keto day. I had a really good one before. Keto. The good thing which I did with keto is that it was still quite flexible.
Obviously, you'd start off your breakfast with your bulletproof coffee. Did you have that every day?
Yeah, this is 2.5, so I'll go through this one. Oh, I've even got a keto OS shake in this one. Every day.
How do they taste?
I don't mind them, actually. Again, no cognitive function. People are like, I feel great. Yeah, that's because you just had 200 milligrams of caffeine, mate.
And it's also probably a placebo.
Yeah, exactly. So coffee, I actually had a bit of AMP V.
Yeah.
A bit of a shout out for ATP there.
Bit of peppermint oil.
Coconut clarity. So I had some coconut oil and butter. So that was
Shout out, get it on IIFYM for $7.
So that was just like your bulletproof coffee in the morning. So my next meal was around lunch, which is a combination of free-range bacon, avocado, grass-fed steak, a bit of cheese, sour cream, and a bit of MCT oil.
And now, is that an expensive diet?
It does sound expensive. Yeah.
No, because you don't need volume.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah. But
It's so high fat.
Calories are dense.
Yeah, and the
okay.
meals are small, so it's only a little bit of
I feel
meat.
like I'd be hungry. Yeah, keep going.
Rump steak, 180 grams.
Yeah. And is that raw or cooked weight?
I don't mean the raw weight.
Sort of cooked down to like 140,
Yeah.
like it'd be small. Yeah.
I always weigh the raw weight.
Yeah.
Okay, so man, I'm lazy. I've pretty much had the same meal again.
Yeah.
No, but I've had grass-fed meat. So yeah, the one thing I did find is I had a lot of flexibility in my life. So I wouldn't prep meals. I would cook it, and then I'd generally eat the leftovers later on in the day. And so I might have like a curry, like obviously a coconut cream-based sort of green Thai curry without the rice, obviously. But I might have that, and then I'll have that again later on as well. But then usually there's like fats and stuff added in there.
Yeah, and that's something that, people on any diet makes life easier. Pre-prepping and eating the same thing for a few days. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, 100%. Things that I could sneak in. So this was a bit of a looser day, and I still got into that 2.5. So I had a little bit of dark chocolate, 85%, which was good. I had a KETO OS shake, which means I was on the road somewhere. Post-workout powder, going back to ATP, this is when I gave their collagen protein a shot, which again, no difference whatsoever.
What a shock.
Yeah. The benefit to the collagen, and this isn't ATP, this is collagen in general, they do say that there can be up to a 30% perceived increase in joint.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's for.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. We don't have an issue with collagen protein.
It's how things are marketed.
It's how it's marketed. It's marketed as like a fat loss thing.
It's
or like,
better than whey.
Better than whey. It has a
not.
completely different profile to whey.
Absolutely,
and that's what people need to understand. There's benefits for collagen for your skin, for your hair, for your nails.
Yeah.
All
It's
of
the
that.
most abundant
Fantastic.
protein in the body.
Yeah,
so
but you can
of course
also
you
get
need it.
a few collagen tablets or, different things.
Eat some steak. Steak's
broth,
very high in collagen.
yeah.
Where do you think the powder comes from? From ATP?
Oh, you know what was funny?
Yeah.
You know what was really funny? It had vegan on it.
No.
Someone posted it. I think
vegans think it's vegan.
Vegans think it's vegan, and I was like, "You're
Not all of
eating
them.
like that's from
The hooves.
that's
Yeah,
it's a beef hoof." Yeah.
I think like from a gut point of view, if somebody can't have whey and for some reason they can't have a plant base, I can understand why you would substitute it then as a primary protein source.
It's just odd though, because if you've drunk it obviously and it's very sludgy and I don't know.
I found it's very watery.
It's odd.
Yeah, it's a sludge water.
We haven't
This
tried
is-
the ATP one though.
Yeah.
So then outside of that, some almond milk latte, a little bit of coconut. So I was obviously on the road. I can tell specifically this day, but very high fat. Only usually about 2 meals. That's it.
Yeah, you managed to fit it in with your life, so not too
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
So to summarise,
To
keto?
to summarise, it's a lot of work for
Pros,
no.
cons?
If you're looking at fat loss,
Fat loss,
Yeah.
weight loss.
if
Fat
we're looking
loss.
specifically at fat loss, or let's say weight loss, there's going to be no benefit to doing this over any other diet.
Insert 10,000 comments from keto zealots
Yes.
and also
at us.
insert 10,000 responses from Lane Norton destroying those people's souls.
Please
Please help us, Lane.
Please, Lane, I'm going to need you after this. Now, as far as like food-wise, it was fine. As far as training-wise, the most important thing, because everyone's like, you're not going to be able to do CrossFit. My training improved up till the 7-week mark until I didn't care.
So the same as the other diet.
Exactly the same. Now, the only downside, there was no benefit. There was no, you're going to be able to do this.
Noticeable benefit.
No,
yeah.
I would have done the same thing on any of the other diets, provided that I was eating around that sort of mark.
Yeah.
Not an issue, whatever. Now, the downside was if I started training in high volume, which was more than the one strength, one Metcon component that we often do in CrossFit, if I started to do extra, I burnt out straight away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I'll tell people. Yeah, I burnt out straight away.
It's a fact. I mean, it takes longer to resynthesize ATP when you haven't got carbohydrates in your body.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure carbohydrates is 5 times faster than
I think
ketones.
even more than that. Yeah.
Because you're relying on glycerol pretty much, and ketones.
Well,
So-
I didn't sense the benefits, and the mega downside of that was I competed in a CrossFit comp over 2 days whilst I was on the diet, and after the first day I went home, and you know what I ate? I ate pork belly.
Wow.
I just needed to get calories in,
Yeah.
and I was
Did
like,
you crave that fat though, or did
No,
you think,
man, I
fuck,
wanted
I
a
need some
pizza.
carbs?
Yeah.
Pizza.
You're like,
There
I
you
just
go.
wanted a bowl of rice.
I literally just wanted a pizza, and I had pork belly.
And that's why your body's smart sometimes, because it will sometimes trigger a craving.
I want
because
carbs, fats, and
fucking
protein.
eat it.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on from keto, because we've got a couple more to go through.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Diet number 3.
Vegan.
Cool.
So the way that I approached the vegan was I wanted to gain muscle on a vegan diet, because I mean it's this.
Can you prove it to be
Vegan
wrong or right?
gains.
Yeah, exactly.
Vegan gains.
Yeah, exactly. And so this one was, you know, I dropped a bit of fat on the first one. I dropped down. I was down at 75 kilos from a keto diet. So there wasn't really that much room for me to go. 72 is probably the lowest I've
So
ever
we've gone
sat in
from
my life.
82 to 75 now.
Yeah, so at
Okay.
75. Now I wanted to slowly progress up using a lean muscle gain, and this is the first time that I implemented Avatar nutrition.
Nice.
And so at least I had a bit of guidance, and the first time I would say I was really using a flexible dieting program.
Yeah.
Now, vegan. So my calories started off at around about that mark.
Still 2,500?
They started, I'll see if I can pull one up now.
And obviously, I just would interject here that this is something that's, again, I guess one of the issues with the study is the fact that now Brendo's focusing on gaining muscle as opposed to the first 2 diets focusing on fat loss. So it's important to obviously look at that. That's a really big thing when it comes to recovery, because if you think about if you're eating overall more calories, and this is what people need to think about, and this is where thyroid, like Sean said, hormones, all that comes into play. The more calories you eat, more than often, you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
As soon as you bring your calories down, everything's going to down-regulate. So that's important to understand for people, I think listening to this one. But let's look at the vegan diet in terms of, I guess, overall health, training, digestion, all those things.
Gains.
Yeah, I'll try and pluck through this. So protein was sitting around about 170, which is still reasonably high for a vegan diet.
Yeah, normal
Carbs,
80-20.
337, which for me is like, I was always a low carb.
Especially
so
coming
for
from
me, that's
keto.
huge.
Yeah.
Massive change. Fats, 83. Fiber, 56.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice amount of fiber.
Yeah, it's
But-
good for guys.
Yeah, so really, really good. Now, first of all, the diet, was it hard? No, probably one of the easiest diets that I did. Now, I will let people know, I was vegetarian for 3 years, from when I was 13 till 16. The reason
Caveat.
the reason why I stopped being vegetarian was because I was told that you needed to eat meat if you needed to gain muscle. When I was 16 is when I started training, and I ate a pork chop was the first thing I ate on my
lovely.
quest for muscle.
Was it glorious, or were you like, oh,
I felt guilty because it was my
Yeah.
sister's and it was in the fridge, and they
your
didn't.
sister's pig, or your
Her pork chop was left over, and
killed your sister's pig and
yeah,
ate its
they
pork chop.
didn't. They didn't suspect a thing though. So yeah, there's something inside of me where I would probably.
Opt for that more style of eating.
Yeah. It's very easy for me to do. I feel better as a human is probably the first thing to say. I don't know, there's something about me that
Ethically,
feels
yeah.
ethically cleaner. My conscience feels a bit better.
Your bowels probably thank you for it as well.
No, that was the one thing that didn't.
Yeah, I remember you were guessing.
So training wise, awesome. Same thing. I went on that sick progression. I was I took 2 weeks off. I went on a holiday overseas. I'm come back and I'm vegan, and I'm ready to start training hard again for another competition. So again, training starts. I'm eating more calories. I'm going from 2,500 to this diet went well over 3,000. The start of the diet, even though my calories were progressing up, I was still losing body fat, gaining lean muscle. It wasn't until the end of the diet that I started to put on a little bit of fat because my calories were coming up.
What did they go up to?
Yeah.
My cheat meal was 4,000 calories a day. It was so good, man.
So what were your kind of average calories, I guess, in that last week?
And what do you cheat on a vegan diet?
Pasta.
Interesting, yeah.
No, not a big pasta fan. I'll go to Marco's.
6 kilos of broccoli, man.
No, Marco's organic pizza, and I'll get their vegan supreme.
I remember you getting that,
Dude, I would smash the whole thing, and that would only be about 1,500 calories, and I'd still have room for more. So good ice cream. So we'd do like the
Yeah.
That's the thing. We're in a pretty cool era.
Yeah.
10 years
doing
ago.
vegan. I remember my mum doing it like years ago, and me living with her, and like her food was so boring. She
Beans
literally lived on
and
beans and hummus.
veg.
Like, yeah.
So this is great for me. I'll see if I've put in a cheat meal because I might have skipped it. So I'm at 3,000 calories, which is what I wish I was at now.
Yeah.
Which I'll work my way back up there. Some cool food, so like vegan protes, got some maple syrups because you can't have honey.
Yeah.
But a big full breakfast. TVP.
Yeah.
So instead of mince, I'd use TVP.
Yeah.
And I'd make like a Mexican taco thing with oats. With beans, I'd use like vegan bean rice chips, which were awesome, which were high fiber. So that's coconut cream and tofu, which also would have had veggies and curry inside of it. Pea protein, vegan proteins.
Did you pick a specific protein brand that you were?
Yeah, so I used True Protein Vegan 85.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still use True Protein Vegan 85.
I still promote True
I
Protein.
still promote True Protein. Exactly.
That wasn't a plug, but that was a genuine question.
That's cool.
But also a plug.
And also,
But yeah, my cheat meals got up to around about 4,000. But it was about that stage where, and I wasn't putting on bulk weight, but yeah, that's when I was starting to get a bit softer.
All right, so
Fluffy.
obviously we need to explain to everyone that the only reason he got softer is because he was on more calories.
100%.
Okay, so don't
Yes,
blame
yes,
a vegan
yes.
diet and say vegan diets will make you fat, because they
Yes.
won't if they're done right. It's calories, guys. at the
Calories
end of the
in,
day.
calories
Just
out.
go
It
back to
wouldn't have mattered.
calories. It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't have mattered. Now,
So what were the negative things?
my farts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gassy.
this is the only actually two negative things, but this is the first one. Is I was gassy
Were you
for
bloated
3
too?
months. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was bloated and gassy. I felt great though, so like energy
feels
wise,
great when you fart.
everything. Well, except for the farts. and
morning
the
fart.
How about the poops? How were they? Were they like a different texture? Like I like knowing
Yeah.
about people's poops.
Yeah, heaps different
She's an
texture.
odd girl.
Lumpy or like
I think
more runny?
like a regular as well, like not
okay.
not like
Yeah,
not
so
like
sometimes
runny.
they were running, sometimes they were hard, just all over the place.
Yeah, and I think like just not the solid like
Yeah.
with keto for me, I would like do the one poop
So like
day
on
sort of
a
thing.
I'll pull up a Bristol poo chart for you, Shorty, if you will.
Internet's not working.
Okay. Well, Sean, Brendo, Google a Bristol poo chart. So we're going to look at your poops, and I want you to put each diet on the poop scale.
I'm gonna
because I really,
my phone's
really
not letting me click through.
enjoy poop diets. I'm
I
hoping
would
people
keep-
understand. But yeah, you get back into it while I get up a poop
You
chart.
said that you just whilst you're looking at your poop diets, your poop chart, you said you gained lean muscle.
Yes.
Very quick. Would you say that was because you added in carbohydrates and it was just a case of filling back out glycogen stores?
Nah, I would say because I had the 2 weeks off as well, so I would have chunked up from there too.
Yeah.
I would say it's because I was increasing my calories and my training capacity went back
Okay,
up.
yeah.
Because remember,
Stimulus.
my lean muscle went up on keto and went down when my training went down. As soon as my training went back up and my
Yeah.
calories went up, it went back up.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you guys would like to now pull up and Google the Bristol poo chart, okay? So
It's very odd that you know the name of this poo chart.
hey, I remember when we got this poo chart when I was doing dietetics, and I was so excited. I was like going home and asking my family. I was leaving it in the toilet. I was like, check your poos.
Yeah.
So guys, if you have irregular bowels and you are someone like me with IBS, you'll be more interested in poo than ever. So we used to have to look at babies' poops in the hospital, which is what I had to learn
Lovely.
about. So normal poo, if you guys pull up a Bristol poo chart,
This is
we're looking for
fantastic.
like a type 3 to 4. Okay, so when you were more on a vegan diet, which ones were you more than likely seeing?
Oh, it was definitely more along the lines of like a 3.
Yep. So a
as
type
opposed to a
3.
keto, which might for me be like a 4.
Okay,
Like
so
a
a little
smooth,
bit
like
more
a smooth
blobby.
poop, like a
Yeah.
smooth poop that comes
paste.
out.
Yeah, more like
Yeah.
a snake.
Yeah. Just more frequent poops and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot more frequent. But like up to 70 grams of fiber a day, which for
Yeah,
me is
that's a lot.
big
That's a lot of
jump.
fiber,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
a lot
the
of fiber.
average actually recommended dietary fiber intake for males in Australia, I believe, is like 45 to
40,
6
yeah.
to 50 grams. Females, it's about 25 to 30.
So my target at the moment is 38, so about that 40.
Yeah.
I'm not a big dude. I'm like 77, 78. Yeah, so to jump and I wasn't trying to eat that much fiber. It was just because the food's
Vegan.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
It was hard not to. So I think that's a pro and a con.
Absolutely, it'd be great for people who have issues like cholesterol,
Yeah.
arterial issues. Like a lot of people with heart disease go on more of a Mediterranean diet,
Yeah.
which is obviously because a lot of it is that sort of basis, and
Yeah.
a lot of them get told to go more vegetarian based, cut down on red meat, cut down those things.
Yep.
So if you're overweight and struggling with heart disease and all this stuff, and you're not active,
Yeah.
then it's not a bad idea. You know,
Yeah.
going more that route. Yeah.
The other issue outside of the farts, because remember everything for this diet for me was like I could quite easily just do this all the time if I didn't have the fart issue. Sex drive. this is the one
Well,
stage.
that's a big one.
Yeah, this is the one stage in the diet, in the whole experiment, where I was literally just offline.
Okay, so we want to explain why that
Increased
happens.
calories as well. So,
We've increased calories, but the biggest drop, decreased saturated fat.
Yeah.
Okay, so your saturated fat's dropped massively. I noticed you're having a tiny bit from coconut, but bring up what your actual daily saturated fat intake was comparative to saturated fat.
Yeah.
Because this would be quite interesting. What would you say is the other ones here as well?
What about my high sweet?
Probably the
consumption?
smell of your own fart. Sometimes
wasn't
they're nice,
attractive
but
anymore.
when there's that much FODMAPs and raffinose in your food, it's
You're not feeling
That's
too
not
Please
great.
good.
explain a
Too sexy.
FODMAP to me, because
So-
this has come up a lot for me
Okay,
recently.
so that is in line with IBS, so
Yeah.
something
Yes.
that I've obviously struggled with and learnt a lot about. It's one of my favourite topics.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we'll do a whole diet around bowels and IBS and poops, because if you guys want that.
I think that'd be a really good one, because
all
I think
about it.
IBS and FODMAP diets is a huge thing, especially with females.
Oh, it's changed some of my clients' lives. Like, absolutely, it changed my life.
Yep.
So basically, FODMAP, food oligosaccharide, disaccharide. What does it stand? I need to know the big words.
So I'm taking it.
But basically, it was, I believe, and I may get this wrong, but Sue Shepherd is basically a woman in Australia, Australian dietitian. She basically was one of the big, I guess, researchers on it. And
Yep.
now if you go on Sue Shepherd Works, anyone listening, if you have it and you want to learn more about it, go on Sue Shepherd's website. But basically, it is a lot of research on IBS. And there's Sue, I'm going to say the big words properly. So it is, fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols.
Yeah.
So that stands for FODMAPs. So they
Basically,
are...
sugars that ferment in your gut and make you fart.
Exactly. So, and proteins can't be broken down as well. It's more the sugars as well. So basically, you've got to think about that. That's a lot of things. So if you think about disaccharides, monosaccharides, polyols, they're going to be in different foods.
Yeah, sure.
So they're going to be in fruits. They're going to be in vegetables. They're going to be in lots of like whole grains, more wheat-based products. They're going to be in things. Honey is very high FODMAP.
Wow, okay.
So there's a few different foods, and people always seem to assume that when you think about a general diet, you think, okay, it's a clean food, it must be good for me.
Yep.
That is an absolute load of shit. Because if I eat a tub of cauliflower, I will be bloated, I will be gassy, my digestive system will not work, I will feel like crap. And this is the problem. My body does not have, obviously, what I need to break that down efficiently.
Yeah.
So what happens is like gas, massive build-up. We have problems with like, I guess, alkalinity and all of this sort of stuff. It's a very acidic environment, toxic environment. You can obviously explain a little more, Shawnee, too. But that's one of the major problems with it. Even things like garlic, ginger, a lot of these sort of stuff. So
Or the
I can't-
nightshade family.
and
Bad
the
for
big
your
one
guts.
as well is the one that fucked me up, and I actually ended up in hospital from this, which is when I found out that I had twisted intestines.
Oh, wow.
So that's what can actually happen if you have IBS.
Yeah.
This
What
happens.
food was it from?
I had a packet of sugar-free lollies when I was dieting for a comp.
Oh, no.
So I was comp prepping.
Yeah.
And I was training a client in the gym. I'd eaten them about 3 hours before. I had a meal of steak and sweet potato after that, and I remember it. And it didn't sit well. I could feel it like sitting like, like up in your chest.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't feel right. I was like 3 weeks out from a comp, so it's pretty shredded. And when you're like comp dieting, you're looking for all the low calorie foods. And I was flexible dieting at this point. It was like my first flexible dieting comp prep where I learned a big lesson. I had a whole bag of sugar-free lollies. Okay, so if you
Good moderation there.
think-
Well done.
But main ingredients, what is it? Maltitol, sorbitol, xylitol.
All the
okay?
sugar alcohol.
So even though some of those are natural sweeteners like xylitol, terrible for people with high FODMAP. I pulled up my shirt. I went to the hospital because I couldn't breathe, digestive issues, all of this stuff. And I looked like I had like a turtle baby because I had like abs with this like protruding stomach. And they were like, "Are you pregnant?" And
No.
I'm like, "No,
In the
I'm
last
3 weeks out from
20
the comp."
Oh, no.
And they said that your intestines have twisted. We had to give me internal muscle relaxants.
Okay.
And that was my big learning lesson that I had severe IBS. So
It's like sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah,
There was
I
a
can't
thing
have
going
them.
around.
The Havarano ones?
you know the sugar-free maple syrup
yeah,
from
yeah.
Coles? Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything like that. I found my biggest triggers, and
Protein
everyone's
bars.
different with what their triggers are, but definitely maltitol, sorbitol, the artificial and natural sweeteners is my big trigger.
Yeah.
And then also ones that are in vegetables. And fruits. But I tend to be okay-ish with dairy. I can have a small amount, whereas a lot of people with IBS can't do dairy and gluten.
Yep.
I'm okay in moderation. So that's the thing. You'll see lists with FODMAPs where it'll be like a red list where it's like a no-go list.
Yep.
A yellow list where it's like have a little bit of it, and then a green list where it's like green light.
Yeah,
but
sure.
in saying that, take that with a grain of salt because everyone's different.
Yeah,
So
for
what
sure.
you need to do if you do have issues with this and you're concerned is it's literally trial and error. It's eating foods, eliminating the food, see if you get an improvement,
Even
and then
cooking them more.
Yeah, broccoli. Like I can eat broccoli well
She can eat.
cooked.
Yeah. So it's funny because you see like certain brofessors.
Oh my god, I did a raw diet once. You should have seen my stomach.
You'd be awful.
Awful. I tried to do like raw vegan for like a couple of weeks, and I was like,
But you see it so much. You get these comp prep diets, and it's like, we're going to do a low inflammatory diet because we want no inflammation and blah blah blah. And it's full of broccoli and it's full of asparagus and it's full of all this.
And I get these clients.
Good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's fucking awful if you've got IBS.
We get these clients come to us and they're like, "This is what my last comp diet was, and I was bloated and gassy the whole time, and I hated my life." And my coach told me it was low inflammatory, and I look at it and I'm like, well, you've clearly got some digestive issues that haven't been addressing.
Yeah.
Or they throw in digestive enzymes and HCl and go, that'll fix it. And you're like,
dissolve your stomach.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing with this, like it was good food. Generally, I felt good, but there was obviously something going on.
Absolutely.
As soon as I stopped the diet,
you probably have like very mild IBS, I would say.
It's probably a trigger to go get checked.
A lot of people
on something.
do, yeah.
Because it was that blatant that there was something inside of it that was doing it.
70 grams of fiber is also.
Oh, it's huge. So all in all, like wrapping up vegan and moving on from here, so diet was easy to do.
Go back to sex drive and testosterone.
Oh, sex drive. So when you go past
that.
Shit, I thought I was safe. No, it was the one time throughout the 12 months where I flatlined. Like literally just no sex drive, no interest whatsoever. Not.
What else do you think that could be, Shawnee?
I would say it's probably we saw there is very low saturated fat in there. I mean, saturated fat, obviously you need that to make cholesterol. Cholesterol is used for steroid hormones.
Bound hormones.
Sex hormone, binding hormone, total free testosterone.
My testosterone levels were okay, but my free testosterone was not okay.
That's a big sign.
Which was the issue. And then as soon as I come off, and this could be a timing thing, this could be other lifestyle factors that caused
what
it.
I was gonna say.
And this is why I don't want people to say, "Oh, a vegan diet will do this," because
lose your boner.
Yeah, because I go through stresses too.
But to be honest, I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah,
with girls that they don't have enough not just vegans, but females that are scared of saturated fat. So they're scared of butter, they're scared of creams, cheeses, or they don't eat dairy. And so the only real sources of saturated fat they're going to get in their diet is from red meat. So vegan, cut that out, and coconut oil, really. And otherwise you're kind of stuck. So
which was pretty much coconut oil.
And a lot of people are fearful of saturated fat because they think of saturated fat and cholesterol, but we need to remember that a good amount of good and bad cholesterol is normal within the body. We need to have LDL and HDL, okay? You're never going to have only HDL. You need.
Did you have your cholesterol tested at all in bloods?
The whole time it was fine.
Cool.
Even actually going back to even keto, it was fine.
And it will be fine because you're not increasing body fat, and this is what people need to understand.
And also that I think people get misconstrued when they think of butter and they think of steak and they think it's 100% saturated fat.
No.
Even butter, it might be 50% fat. But
even
it's not
an egg
50%
yolk,
saturated fat. It's about 45% saturated fat, and it's actually really high in monos.
Yeah.
So it's obviously good fats as well. So same with beef. It's really high in monounsaturated fat.
No real changes. The only thing that was low the whole time through the diets was magnesium.
Okay.
That's the only thing, which I think is pretty standard.
But you know what? That's standard with anyone that really trains. It'll show up in a blood test. Were you supplementing with magnesium the whole time?
I do now. Like a heavy. I use a ZMA now, every day.
Bathe in it.
Yeah, pretty much. I wish I should probably double. I'm worried about taking too much. Because it is a zinc product as well.
Fine,
But I use it.
You'll get a bad stomach before you.
Or just get a pure magnesium and add that extra. We now pretty much buy everything pure ingredient. Because I prefer to be able to dose the way I want to dose things. I find if I buy a multi or something like that, I don't like the dosages. I used to use ZMA, same as you. Now I buy zinc, magnesium, and B vitamins separately. So I think that going back to all of this is fats, it needs to be understood that it's not just fats in general that are going to look after your sex hormones, that it needs to be understood. And I always look at my girls, if I'm, say for example, I give them 70 grams of fat a day in their diet, I'll actually give them a goal for saturated fat as well. So I'll say to you, okay, 70 grams of fat, but I want you to be hitting 25 at least of saturated fat, especially if there's someone that say has a low libido, I might even increase that, or someone that's struggles to build muscle, a female, because their testosterone levels maybe are not efficient. So this is really interesting.
I like 30% of your fats.
That's a good one.
Saturated.
Absolutely. Or if your fats are lower, then it may need to go up to 40 or 50 just to hit enough. But I'd say it's really interesting. So if you are someone that's struggling with those things, have a look at saturated fat in your diet, because it could be something that you're missing out on.
Don't be scared of fats.
Exactly. All right. So the last one, drum roll.
Yeah, macros. So
Macros,
flexible dieting. So this is the one that I was also really stoked to do. But the way that I played this and making it clear, because the way that you would prescribe a flexible diet would be different. So I really wanted to play on the edge on this one, and it was more of the macros, I guess, style, which I went. And do you want to explain the difference?
Yeah, well, I want to explain that any coach will prescribe it differently.
Yes.
And that is the beauty of flexible dieting. Like, there is no one percentage of protein that everyone needs to have. But if you are using, say, a pre-described calculator on the internet, or you're using a program like Avatar, it is probably going to spit out data that is harder to, again, customize. Avatar does a pretty good job of it comparative to others, because you input details about yourself.
Yeah.
So you input your lifestyle, blah, 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 goals, all of that. I've had a good look through it, and it does do a great job of that, better than any other calculator. But at the end of the day, as coaches, and what we do and why we still have a job is because it still doesn't do the job of a human, and adjusting for variables like the fact that your libido may be low, and that maybe your fat needs to come up a bit more and protein needs to drop down, and we want to prescribe also iron intake and saturated fat and other variables.
How's your job, how's your knee, how's your,
how's
your lifestyle.
So
it's very dynamic.
Needs a big thing.
Exactly.
As well.
So all in all, at the end of the day, like, I'm never scared we're going to go out of a job because of apps like this, because I think that they're great for someone who is generally healthy.
Yeah.
That overall is healthy, that doesn't have any major issues, that just is getting maybe into it and is pretty healthy in the whole. Yeah. But if you've got any problems, probably not the best, because you need that little bit more customization, also assistance with food choices and what you're putting into your diet. Because even though we promote flexible dieting, I give my clients food lists. I'm like, I want you to be having 2 serves of this a day. I want you to be having these vitamins and minerals.
And how many Pop-Tarts do you have a day? Are we talking if it fits your macros, or are we talking flexible?
And that's the big difference.
Yes.
Yeah, and exactly that. Like, I've done a big video on that on YouTube, so I might link it below in this episode, so we won't go into that in too much depth. Yeah. But I guess it's just words at the end of the day. You take what you want to take from it. You want to call it IIFYM, if it fits your macros. You want to call it flexible dieting. Yeah. There's no, like, one way about it. It's just the prescription of it. So
how did you go with it?
Yeah, so with this one, I did do the, I guess, that more cheat style. So
so more IIFYM.
Yeah, 100%. So I made sure I ate something every day, whether it was a bit of Nutella, whether it was...
we even encourage that with flexible dieting.
80-20.
And it was awesome, because all of a sudden, because by this stage, I've gone through keto, I've understood about tracking consistently, and then I've gone on to vegan, and I've started to use Avatar. So then by the time I've gone on to this, I'm pretty good at tracking my stuff by now. Yeah. So I know how much food's coming in, have I hit my protein? Okay, tonight now I can have some Nutella, or I can have half a pizza. And I did, and I put all of that stuff in.
Were you focusing on fat loss in this one, maintenance, or
fat loss?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I was actually on a fat loss setting, and I was able to lose fat. So
what was your weight? So you went 82 down to 75
thereabouts
when you started vegan. What were you after you finished vegan? Did you make some gains?
Yeah, I did. I made gains as a vegan.
Too many gains, but sloppy gains towards the end.
It wasn't too sloppy. I was still pretty good. I was still
fluffy
gains. I would have got more fluffy in the 2-week gap that I wasn't vegan as to go into this, because I think that's when I just went, I'm not going to track for this period of time. So I got more fluffy then. I was still pretty tight, like towards the end of vegan, but I was definitely not as tight as I was at starting it. Now I started off losing. So this is coming. When I finish this is coming right into Christmas. Like, I actually finished this experiment.
You've been doing this for like a whole year.
Yeah. So I actually finished this experiment, I think 2 days before Christmas. I was in Brisbane filming for a TV show the 2 weeks prior to this. So you can imagine, like, trying to fit stuff in days where this just didn't happen. So the start of this diet, up until, I reckon, about the 9-week mark, I was pretty good, and I was losing body fat, and I was learning a lot more, and I was doing the cool stuff. Like, I would have a couple of drinks, like a couple of beers, twice a week. And I literally did it.
And still drop fat.
To prove a point that I could still perform well and drop fat by doing this.
Awesome,
Yeah, and it worked. Yeah. And I did. And so that's cool because maybe not for an athlete or not for, a person looking to compete,
general pop,
but for the everyday person, you don't need to pull everything out of your life.
Especially coming up to Christmas. Like, who doesn't want to have a champagne on Christmas Day or a wine and, not saying you have to track on Christmas Day, but if you did want to, you could.
You can.
Yeah.
And you can still put this stuff into your lifestyle. And obviously, you're going to have to do other things to hit fiber marks if that's what you're going to look at. The fats, the alcohol is going to pull from calories, and it's not something that you'd want to do all the time.
No.
But I was able to do it and still get better results. Could I have got better results if I didn't? Yeah, absolutely, I could have. But there was this balance of what was a good life and what was
your life
still
was
getting
more
results.
balanced doing that one as opposed to the others.
Yeah. Now, my biggest lesson out of all of this, which is what I wanted to talk about, which is things I learned about myself, and I guess things I learned about the different diets.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I took away over the 12 months was, I guess I had like a real all or nothing personality in everything in life.
Which is, it's good. It's
good and a bad. Yeah.
Good for this, but also when we're talking about different things in life, like, drug addictions and these sort of things.
Yeah, exercise addictions.
Yeah.
Food,
anything. And I've experienced like all of those. And for the first time in my life, from going through, I guess, this macro flexible diet and being able to do these things, it's the first time I've actually been able to comprehend moderation.
Awesome.
In my life. And so it was okay to have a couple of drinks and,
still get
that
a
was
result.
part of your life. Yeah, but you get a result and it's not a bad thing. And you would work with, both of you would work with people that have really bad relationships with food.
People are shocked when you're like, you can have like sauce, like actual sauce, like on your dinner, and they're like, what? And you're like, chuck some barbecue sauce on there. They're like,
I just put 2 days a week. One of my clients has eggs, bacon, and beans on toast
and
and
it's
stuff
not
for breakfast.
keto,
Doesn't get it, but it's still working. Drops a kilo,
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I don't trust it.
They don't trust it. One of my girls, I
Should
put
be
like some cereal because she's a mum and she like needs something quick and easy after she trains, and I'm like, just have a protein shake and some cereal, and she's like, oh my God, I haven't eaten cereal in 20 years. Like, I thought it was bad, and she's dropping weight. Like, it's crazy. Like, I had a mum say to me the other day that her biggest breakthrough she had with me in doing our program, and it's not going to sound that crazy to someone else, but she has a son who's 13, who is healthy, young, slim, and he's always seen his mum on a diet. And she sat down with him the other day and had a piece of toast with Nutella in it. And he said that it was, like, such a happy moment for him because he was like, Mum doesn't look guilty. She's like enjoying this and she's dropping weight. Yeah. And she's finally able to eat the same food as me and have a healthy relationship with food and be a role model for her son as well, which is insane.
It's huge.
Like,
that was my biggest lesson out of it, was that healthy relationship with a lot of things in life. Now, performance-wise, I didn't feel as good.
Okay.
As opposed to which?
Because you had alcohol in your diet and you were drunk all the time.
Yeah, well, having alcohol is going to affect your performance as an athlete, no matter what.
Absolutely.
Like, and this is like any time. I can have 1 or 2 drinks, and I guarantee you for the next day or two, I'm going to train worse.
We're old.
Yeah.
We're all old now.
And that's literally 1 or 2 drinks. It's not getting drunk. So that, I would probably say a lot of the types of food are not eating as much fiber as well. I probably
Just
felt
quality
a little
of
bit more
food.
sluggish. Yeah, so I think the quality of food absolutely plays on how you feel, but body composition wise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's when someone proved, I think it was one of Lane's clients, basically just hit their fiber, but it was from fiber supplements and just drank protein shakes, Pop-Tarts, cereal, all that.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. Amazing like body composition results, but felt pretty shithouse.
Yeah.
Like libido was low because again, they weren't hitting saturated fats, those sort of things. So I think this is what people need to understand, and that's when you're going too extreme with IIFYM.
Yeah.
And when nutrient density for us as coaches, it's that 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Like if you're hitting your fiber and you've hit everything and you've still got some calories or macros left for the day and you can have some ice cream, whatever, then go nuts. But if you're not hitting those things and you're not getting in fruits and vegetables and nutrients and hitting your zinc and magnesium from food, or you've got to throw in a shit ton of supplements.
Comes back to podcast number 3 if you haven't listened to that. The less you have in your diet, the more you have to supplement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and were you doing any supplementation with that one or not?
Yeah, I was, but very, very basic. So I would a caffeine-free pre-workout. I don't use caffeine. which I weaned off through the year as well, which is awesome. Like you said, for some coffee, ZMA, I use ZMA, a little bit of protein, not much, because I was getting it mostly from food.
Yeah.
I didn't need to supplement that much with protein, even now. Like
Probably because you were coming off being vegan, so you're already getting a lot of sauces like pretty commonly in your diet.
Yeah, I think so. Like even now, I have like 3 meals a day. I don't eat a lot of meals.
I never have protein shakes.
No.
Like, and that sounds really bad because I'm sponsored by a protein company, but I put them in my oats, I put them in protein pancakes, things like that, but I don't actually barely ever, and smoothies where I'll throw in like stuff with it, but I'll never really sit there and just have a shake. Like,
so I do the protes in the morning, and I do like kind of like a mix of like dates and apples and like all sorts of stuff. It's actually
jazzy.
I love it. It's actually a really good breakfast meal.
My protes is protein and oats.
He's not that jazzy. Sure, it's
I'm
very
like
simple.
crushed almonds and everything.
I'm like
really.
you. I'm like a bit of coconut.
Yeah. I'm all over this.
Right,
so that's my morning. So that's a protein. Post workout, I always have a protein and a carb source. So usually about 50 grams of like a post workout carb.
But when he says protein, he doesn't mean a shake, like an actual could be a sauce.
No. I use like just a protein shake and a carb source, and then I'll eat after that.
Okay.
That's like at the moment. Just because I can.
It's convenient as well.
Yeah,
and it is convenient. Like when I was a uni student, I used to probably have more protein shakes than what I do now.
Yeah.
Purely for convenience.
And actually, like, sorry, I'll point out, I'm training in the morning now, so I don't eat before I train. I just finish a CrossFit session. The first thing I want to do is smash down a shake, and then I'll eat when I get home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a different scenario at this point in time. I think that I didn't do it after workout because all of a sudden I had access to all these calories and these foods that I could have, so I kept them to them.
You went a little bit too YOLO maybe on this one,
Yeah, I did. I think more so than anything I did, but I still
got results.
Yeah, still got results up until about that 3 weeks before Christmas, where Christmas parties were on, stuff was happening. I was trying to track most things,
and it wasn't as accurate.
Yeah, it wasn't as accurate. But had it have been, I essentially the moral of the story is that I could have changed my body composition by adjusting my calories.
Yeah.
Simple moral of the story. Take home message, guys.
Well,
Calories matter.
That's a great segue into.
I'm gonna maybe put that at the start. Yeah.
And so we can summarize it. I could have done any of these diets and change my body composition by manipulating the calories, either increasing them or decreasing them. Doesn't matter which one it was. If I wanted to improve my performance, I would have needed to have trained consistently and harder, and I know that I can only do that for a period of time. No one's going to be in the zone all the time. I understand that. You pick your battles and you choose when you're going to go into comp. Was there a best diet? No, I don't essentially think so. I think it can depend on the lifestyle. There's certain reasons.
Would you rate them in terms of least productive to most, or least effective to most effective, or would you literally just say there was no?
Yeah, because you did say one was better.
One that prevailed.
I would probably say okay. So
it comes back to bias a little bit as well.
Yeah, it does. So if I didn't have gut issues, I probably would have felt better as a vegan just consciously. And so I would probably sit in there. And also, you can talk about sustainability and all that stuff, but I don't think it is the healthiest or best diet because there was obviously downsides of it. So do we include a little bit of meat into that diet? Probably the best way.
And then you're pretty much just doing flexible dieting and having a bit of a higher carb intake and a bit lower protein.
Yeah,
that's all it is. That's all it is.
You can have fish.
And like I have vegan diets, and that is pretty much what they do. Like I have them on much more carbs, a bit less protein, reasonable fats. Yeah. That is vegan flexible dieting.
Or a vegetarian.
And then my question for this, would I stick to that diet for the rest of my life?
Maybe not.
No way. Because there's always things. Always things happen. Always things come up. Life changes.
Yeah, unless you were like a full-on animal activist, then yeah. Unless it was the ethical side of things,
Yeah, I think keto was fine because I could do it and I proved that you could do it, and all the haters, it was like, no, well, I can still perform and I can do everything right. But then all the lovers or the activists, it was like, those things aren't really happening, but I am alive.
And you're selling it on the wrong promises. I think that's the problem I have with keto.
Yeah.
Selling it on that it's going to optimize brain function and fat loss and this and that. Yeah. And that, calories don't matter, that you can have bulletproof coffees and and then I get women that come to me that have got fat on keto and they've been having 3 bulletproof coffees a day.
But I'm eating healthy, man. So essentially tracking was super important.
Which is why number 1 diet failed.
Yeah, there was no tracking, but it was also rigid and
Yeah.
it was quite generic, and it was obviously based to sell supplements. I would probably
Yeah.
say that, that would probably be
The
my
worst.
least favourite, but because I feel like it wasn't customized
So probably
to
that,
me.
then keto, and then like vegan and flexible dieting at the top.
Yeah, they're around the same.
Yeah.
I could interchange the latter three. I could
Yeah.
interchange them no matter what, but I don't see the point of why I need to do keto again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I would probably not hating on it, but I would probably factor it out.
Yeah, and the thing about keto at the end of the day is it is going to be harder on your lifestyle. Like you said, you made it work and it wasn't that hard, but you're in that headspace. Like, can you imagine if you're like a mum with a family and you've got to cook dinner for everyone and you've just got to be the one on the keto meal? Now, I'm not saying it's hard for you to take off the pasta or rice off your dish.
Yeah.
But what if you make a nice lasagna for the family, your kid's birthday party, and you can't have a slice of cake? Like, it makes your life more restricted
I
than
think
it
so.
has to be.
And the chances of succeeding
It's
then
just not
drop.
necessary. Like, if you
Yeah.
want to be on a bit lower carbs because you feel better on more fats, then do you. Like,
Yeah.
I have some clients that say, I genuinely feel better when my fats are higher and my protein's moderate and my carbs are moderate.
Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you're keto. It doesn't mean that you're flexible diet. You don't need to put a fucking label on your diet. I think that's what I'm over. Like, don't label diets.
That's
Yes.
the moral of this
Moral of the
episode.
story.
Yeah.
Why do you have to label a diet? And people ask me
Yeah.
all the time. They'll message me and say, "What do you do as a coach? Like, are you macros? Are you this?" And I'm like, I'm not really any of that. I will pick the best diet and prescribe it that suits you and what you need, and that is what a good coach will do. You know,
Yeah.
they won't be like everyone has to do keto because no.
Well, there are, and that's the annoying thing.
If
is-
you wanna be that
which is
coach,
why I did
yeah.
this experiment to begin
Yeah.
with. It was to find out, because there are those people that are like, oh no, this is the best, and this is why you should do
Everyone,
it.
yeah.
And that is the reason why I did it, which essentially came down to I could have manipulated my body composition through calorie intake.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's funny because when you see people like Lane will sit down and have a conversation with Dominic D'Agostino and they both just converse. They don't argue with each
Yeah.
other like you see all over Facebook and whatnot.
Yes.
Dominic will say, okay, I see why you would have carbohydrates, but I don't need to. And Lane says the same thing for that. End of the day, they both say you don't need to do one or the other.
Correct.
They do the
They'll
same
both
thing.
work
Yeah,
if
so-
you have a calorie deficit.
Exactly,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Facebook warriors don't even listen to the guys at the top.
Yeah. And for me, like, I learned a lot through doing this, and I have so many people like on the daily, on the weekly, hitting me up about any and all of the diets.
So they can listen to this podcast now.
Yeah, they really should, and we'll make sure we share it out.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite anticlimactic for everyone.
Yeah.
But the carnivore diet is the new one that's going through.
Yeah.
It's just meat, and I'm like so
Oh
dumbfounded.
my god, my stomach would be a nightmare.
But-
like, how would you poop?
I don't know.
Do you-
It's literally just meat.
Is there any
Define-
fiber supplements?
Just meat. No fiber
Literally
supplements.
100%
Nothing.
meat.
100% meat.
You'd love that, Sean.
Awesome.
Sean would do that
No,
one.
just me.
That's
I used to
good.
be a competitive eater, and some of the
Oh.
challenges were like 2 kilo steaks.
it's a meat
And to
eater.
me, that was easy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be good on it. I would be.
Nah. Well, I actually like won a few eating challenges.
Love it.
Yeah.
You two should hang out.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll
we'll
hang
send
out.
you both for an eating
Yeah,
challenge.
surprisingly enough.
But
yeah,
are you
I
gonna
did
actually
too.
try that one? Or are you done with it?
No, I'm done with all this stuff. I've done my thing. I know. I find it hard. My position now is I find it hard to have conversations.
Around it, which is where I used to hate, and Sean hates having conversations with it.
Because-
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, I love it.
Because it's such an easy answer, and now my thing
No,
is,
that's
why
not
is
fair.
everyone squabbling between
Yeah.
these two of what's best? Now my thing is, only 17.9% of Australians are actually active or have gym memberships, and we're fighting over, which diet is the best, when
Yeah.
really the
Just fucking
fight
get
is
to the
over
gym.
82%. Yeah,
Get to the gym,
None of this stuff matters. It matters do something, get moving, and then
Stop being lazy. I think people,
Yeah.
that's a big message, and I don't want that to sound harsh, but it is fact.
Yeah.
People are lazy, they're not moving their bodies enough, and then they're hoping this perfect diet will get the weight off.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, how about you move your body than having to restrict your calories and do keto? Like,
Yeah.
that's not necessary. And, we are much more sedentary than what we used to be, so just take that into account and get more active, push yourself. Like, yeah.
Which is podcast number 1, may I add? It actually is.
This
as
is
well.
so many good backlinks.
Yeah,
So
it
many
was,
good
it was
backlinks.
actually about why the world's
Why
getting
the world's
fatter.
getting
So you
fatter.
should go listen to that one. But and I guess like the big take home message for me here and Sean,
Yeah.
obviously, because we've studied this shit at uni, especially more me with like the dietetics, but the science has been out on this for hundreds of years.
Hasn't
Yet
really
people
changed.
are still saying, no, this diet's going to work. And all the scientists, all the people like Lane, Eric, Allen, Lyle McDonald, all these people are like, we've been through this like 100 times. Like, all
Okay.
you're getting marketed to is by companies who want to make money or people who want to make money. Like, let's be real. Create a caloric deficit. Also look after your metabolism. eat a variety of foods, eat nourishing foods for the most part, move your fucking body a little bit more, and look after your lifestyle factors, your stress, your sleep, like all of that.
Big time.
Like there's no secrets is what we're trying to say. Unfortunately, like we could say there's a secret because we're coaches and that's how we make money from coaching people, but we're not about that life.
And that's the honest anticlimax of this, is that there are no secrets. And that was it. I really wish there was. I really wish one of these diets was the one, and I went, oh shit, that
changed my
whatever
life.
it was just the most sensational thing. Little to no change.
But you know what my biggest thing is? The best diet is the one that you can stick to.
Yeah, correct.
Because I have actually had some clients who've said to me, oh, I loved the keto diet and it was amazing and it was so easy to stick to and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, great, look, if you do you. If you find that easier than tracking your macros and you find it easier to stick to some meal plan that tells you exactly what to eat and it's just fats and you know that you won't then go and binge on carbs because that's your trigger food and that works for you, cool. Do that. But don't say that it's going to have a better fat loss result than if you actually track properly and did calories on said diet. You know what I mean? So find the diet that works for you, or find not even so much a diet, but a way to eat for your lifestyle. So what are you going to do? What are you doing now, I guess?
What am I doing now? So nothing specific at the moment.
Still tracking?
Yeah, I track loosely. I think you always have stages in life where you can be more committed than others. And
it's
I think,
important to do that.
And understand it and not hate yourself for it. So I'm still in like reasonably good shape because I still train consistently and I still move.
Is he in shape, Sean?
He's alright, I see there's a bicep vein.
There's a little vein.
Some rounded
like I'm not getting fat is what I'm saying. Like so I'm just training when I can. I'm not at capacity. I will when I'm mentally ready to go again. But just at the moment I think there's other areas which I'm tackling in life at the moment, which is cool.
And I guess like wrapping up, we've kind of done a summary, but where can the fine people of Perth find you? What are you up to at the moment? And tell us a little bit about that. What's your main role?
So I got my finger in a lot of pies, but I guess
warm apple pie.
Warm apple pies.
Because his libido is working and everything's fine.
I'm back on.
Look out, Shell.
I'm back online. Okay, so the main thing that people would know me as is I guess from Perth Fit Fam.
Hi, I'm Brendo from Perth Fit Fam.
Classic, without a hat now. So most people know me from there. We just come back from Sydney.
What does Perth Fit Fam actually do for people who don't know?
Cool. So Perth Fit Fam, I say is connecting the Perth fitness scene. So we started off on it as an Instagram page, and we help showcase all facets of the scene, whether that be bodybuilding, CrossFit, functional training, group fitness, yoga, Pilates, dance fitness, all of it. Just general fitness, whatever's out there. It's just a unbiased platform that people can come and see what's out there and learn more.
Cool.
We have our Facebook page where you see a lot more videos and a lot more content go through, and a directory website as well. For businesses, they can contact you and also be involved if they want to help get some promotion or that. Yeah, so businesses can get listed on the website, have deals, offers, coupons, blogs up there. We'll really work at pushing that platform this year just to make it a really good central place for people to go to know what's out there. Yeah, you know, how many times do you go on Facebook and go, who's a good PT in the Bibra Lake area? You know what I mean? It's so many.
Go on Perth Fit Fam, and not just that, like Brendo said, it might be a food service company, it might be a meal prep company, anything health and fitness related. So it's an awesome platform. Go check it out. Yeah, and the people that follow us already, like, give me some feedback. Shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook. So my Insta is just brendo.com.au. You can grab me there. We've got some cool stuff coming out. Yeah, so awesome. It should be good.
I think that you're doing a good job. Like,
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're just promoting a lot. It shows
I'd like
how
more
broad.
nudes.
Pardon?
More nudes.
More nudes.
Not me. She would like.
On our video, there's a half nudie on our video, which is coming out tomorrow.
Who's half nude though?
Oh, it's me.
Oh dear, no thanks.
Damn.
I was hoping for maybe some McLeany train, but
maybe
some. No, you know what I'd love to see, and this was my thing that I suggested, and I'd love to run with this. But my suggestion last year, and you guys all like looked at me, you, Josh Porter, Brett L, the calendar. Yes. Ladies, if you want a calendar, I want a calendar of the Perth. Can we do the Perth Fit Fam calendar? Yes, absolutely. And we'll do all the boys in off-season shape. And I want the girls to choose. It's going to be like the dad bod calendar. Yeah. like the kind of in shape dad bod colour, but a variety of dad bods.
Yeah,
a dad bod for everyone.
Yeah.
So ladies, if you want to get behind it, and we'll style it, the females will style it. We'll pick your theme, and we'll pick your costumes. We'll get Claire Skeet behind it from Creative Costumes, and we'll get some nice designs done up. So if you guys want to do that, and we'd like to do it as a charity thing, I think would be really cool. So let's pick a charity, something we all believe in. Let's get Renee Porter behind the camera, and if you guys want it, it's there.
I love it because I know that this is going to go ahead too.
And Brett, and you know what, Brett Earl.
Yeah.
Brett Earl's always behind the camera, so Brett's the other side to Perfect Fam.
Brett's January.
Yeah. So
He's number one.
and you know, Brett's always behind the camera. So ladies, if you want to see Brett's beautiful face and beautiful dad bod, then
he's a handsome chap.
Yeah, well, his wife's
soon to be dad bod.
Yeah.
So they're due on the 10th of June.
Okay, so we need to do it after that because then he'll be dad bod ready.
No, I'm good to go. Let's do this. Let's do it this weekend.
Yeah, I guess wrapping up, guys. Thank you so much, Brenda. I know it's been a long one, so we may split this into 2 parts, which I think would be a good idea.
Cool.
But if you guys want to have, make them wait. If you guys want to have Brendo on again, obviously he's actually pretty very well versed in the whole business side of the fitness industry.
Yeah.
So we might do another podcast, just me and him, because Sean's not his jam.
Nope.
And we might just have a really good chat about that. If you guys are into that, then please let us know. The biggest way and best way to get in contact with us is leaving an email down below. You can send it to me, just alice@aliceround.com, or Sean@mcclaneytrain.com. And please, we give a big thank you. Give it a review. Don't give it a 1-star. Don't be a Jew. Give it a 5-star. Okay?
Is there a
driving though?
Is there a Jew diet?
I
There would be, yeah.
I don't mean any offense to Jews. I just love that saying.
Yeah.
So, can you please tell them to give us a 5-star, Brendo, on iTunes?
5-star on iTunes, please.
Lovely. 5-star on iTunes and a review. If you like this episode, any feedback for us, you can just leave it there. I mean, if it's positive, because we don't touch them negative comments.
Or down in the DMs.
If you want to give us something negative, send us in a DM.
Yeah. Or nudes.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I really hope this episode was informative. We'll leave some links below, some tips to different YouTube videos and things that will be handy. Any things that Brendo has, that videos that he's done on these diets as well, we'll link below. And thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Bodies.
Barbells.
And...
bagels. We're not big enough that people know the name of the podcast.
No, he doesn't even know what he's on.
And
You didn't even offer you bagels for dinner.
Oh, no, but we had a good dinner.
All right.
Anyway, thanks, guys.
Thank you. See
Bye.
you guys.